Alright, so there's a film about Donald Trump and it is called The Apprentice, but people don't want to watch it. It's crazy because Trump himself loved the film and congratulated the entire film's crew on doing such a great job. I was joking about that, of course. He described the film as a cheap, defamatory and politically disgusting hatchet job and called those involved in it as human scum. The Apprentice didn't receive the recognition it deserves because of extreme political polarization surrounding Trump, unfortunately, even when it comes to watching films. People who hate Trump refuse to watch a 2-hour biopic of him, given his unescapable omnipresence in real life. On the other hand, his supporters don't want to watch the film either because they don't want to see anything negative about him. So what's the outcome? A film people don't want to see. I watched the film and I've gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. Similar to Oliver Stone's World Trade Center that was released just 5 years after September 11 attacks, this film suffers from the bad timing release, so perhaps future will be more kind to it. The story follows young Trump in the 1970s working as a rent collector for his father Fred. At the time, federal government was investigating Fred for discrimination against African American tenants. So when Trump meets a corrupt lawyer Roy Cohn who offers to solve the legal problem, Cohn takes Trump under his own wing and becomes literally like a second father to him. Roy teaches Trump 3 life-defining rules. Number 1, always attack. Number 2, never admit wrongdoing. And number 3, always claim victory, even if defeated. He introduces Trump to numerous illegal ways to claim victory, like blackmailing his way up the socioeconomic ladder. Much like Oliver Stone's Wall Street, this film explores how far you can get by breaking the law. The performances in this film are phenomenal. Jeremy Strong was amazing as Roy Cohn. His Oscar-worthy performance literally stole the screen as he portrayed Roy a little too sympathetically than his real-life counterpart. For me, the most emotionally powerful moment in Trump and Cohn's relationship comes when Trump gives a dying Cohn a pair of Trump-branded diamond cufflinks, only for Ivana Trump to later reveal they were fake. While she never informed him in real life, it was an excellent creative decision by director to sort of combine fiction with reality, enhancing film's emotional impact. And when Cohn realizes that he's been scammed by Trump, for who he always stood up for, Jeremy Strong's performance once again just blew my mind. He conveys 2 completely opposite emotions at the same time: sadness for being scammed, rejection of that sadness, and then embracement of pride. Pride that Trump truly mastered his corrupt methods even at his mentor's expense. Now, some reviewers argued that the second half of the film is a little less interesting, and I can see that why. In the first half of the film, Trump is portrayed as this ambitious outsider just trying to break into the real estate business. It's a version of Trump we're not very familiar with. And then in the second half of the film, you're watching Trump that everybody recognizes today. And once Trump gets fully formed into a person we all know, the film becomes a lot less interesting. Because we already seen that version of Trump, it's nothing we haven't seen before. I think this film could have reached its full potential if it showed us more beneath the surface of Trump's lifestyle, when it comes to making business deals, or how Trump manages to deny he's corrupted and convince so good the public that his enemies are even more corrupt. Then the lies, how he's building the greatest building in the world when in fact he's not. But yet with his energy, he manages to sort of bend the truth.
They said, sir, if George Washington and Abraham Lincoln got together and ran as president and vice president, they couldn't beat you.
This is still a great film, but that's something I wish they showed us more in it. The Apprentice was shot very differently than majority of modern films. The choice of using Alexa 35 digital camera paired with 16mm lens contributed in evoking that 1970s gritty atmosphere of crime-ridden New York City. This movie is presented in a 4:3 aspect ratio, in other words, full screen, which is almost impossible to see in modern cinema. I love this choice as full screen eliminates background and its distractions, focusing entirely on characters themselves and giving us a more intimate look into their world. Alright guys, so in conclusion, I'm gonna give The Apprentice a B. Thank you guys for watching my first film review. Into the Pictures is imagined as this series where I'm covering all the underrated and forgotten films that I believe deserve a lot more recognition. There'll be 2 reviews or analysis each week, one on Monday and one on Friday. Now, this doesn't mean I won't upload other types of content. Everything will stay the same, but from now on, with the inclusion of film reviews or analysis.